And we are live with Lauren, lead center. Lauren, how are you today?
I am great because it is season announcement day. We have been building up to this for so long, and we finally get to tell the world all the things.
Yeah, not everything. We've got a tease coming up, but we
That's
are
true. Not
announcing the
quite everything.
thrilling 35th anniversary of the 2024-2025 season of music, theater, dance, and more at the Lead Center. More than 35 events, top artists, ensembles from around the world, all kinds of different stuff. And what we're going to touch on are probably some of the shows that our Eagle listeners will be kind of tuned into and maybe want to hear about. And the first
Yeah,
one
absolutely.
is coming up in September on the 27th, 5 performances of the Tony and Grammy winning Dear Evan Hansen. Tell us about this. This is really unique, and I think really just right into modern times and stuff, which I think is cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Tony Award winning musical. And as you said, it really kind of keys into modern stuff. They call it one of the first full musical kind of about the social media age.
Yeah, yeah.
It's about high school kids, but it's kind of about how they're interacting with each other because of social media. It centers around a boy named Dear Evan Hansen who kind of gets caught up in a lie that he doesn't mean to tell that then spirals into something bigger and bigger. But what's interesting is it's happened over the last several years is it's the same composers that wrote The Greatest Showman and La La Land. And
Oh, yeah.
several of the
Those are great.
songs have just become so kind of ubiquitous. You hear it outside of musical theater, waving through a window and you will be found. And there's kind of all these other songs that are like seeping out into the beyond Broadway zeitgeist, if you will. So yeah, and I
Yeah.
mean, it's from the guys that did Greatest Showman, so it's wonderful.
Yeah, excellent. Also, another one we're looking forward to. My wife is looking forward to. Even Joe, my morning partner's very excited to see Marty and all the guys in Back to the Future, the beloved cinematic classic, now a Broadway musical coming to the Lead Center.
Yes, and what's really exciting is this is the Nebraska premiere. There is nowhere else in the state of Nebraska that you can see Back to the Future at this point. And it is, I mean, it's everything you love about the movie. They really were faithful to that. They used all the
Okay.
original songs that were in the movie, Power of Love and all of
Yeah.
those. And then Glenn Ballard and Alan Silvestri wrote amazing new music to complement it as well. And I will say, I know some pretty cynical, they've seen everything Broadway people who say that technically this is the coolest thing they've ever seen on stage.
Oh,
Like
well,
what
cool.
they're able to do with the DeLorean. Of course, the DeLorean is like a
Yeah.
main character in the show. And that it is a Broadway spectacle. And you get to see the DeLorean fly.
And that's 8 performances beginning October 8th. So
Mhm.
looking forward to that. And I feel like Carson tonight, like Carson tonight. Now, this is going to be very interesting, hosted by
Yes.
comedian Pat Hazel. Is Pat actually going to like ape Johnny, or is he just going to, it's a celebration really basically of
It
Johnny
is.
Carson's 99th birthday. Tell us I'm interested in this. So tell us what this is going to be.
Yeah, so it is actually on Johnny's 99th birthday, as you mentioned. But yes, it's hosted by comedian Pat Hazel, and he is bringing in a lot of the guests you saw kind of most frequently on The Tonight Show. Lance Burton, the illusionist, and some of the animal guys and comedians. But it uses video clips from the original Carson show so that Johnny himself is introducing all of these acts
Oh,
before they
wow.
come
That's
out and
cool.
perform. And
Yeah.
then the UNL Jazz Band will be subbing in as the Tonight Show Orchestra, but they actually have all of the original charts that the Tonight Show band played from. So it really is like a loving recreation of the whole Tonight Show experience. And of course, Johnny being Nebraska's favorite son, it is
Exactly. So we get to
apt to
that.
celebrate his birthday. Oh, yes.
Oh, that's going to be great. For comedians and folks that liked the comedy of the Capitol Stair Steps, Capitol Fools is the new generation.
Yes,
That's coming
yes.
October 25th, and it's always fun.
Yeah, and you'll note the timing is right before the presidential
Yeah,
election, and that is
yeah,
not a mistake. So
yeah.
yeah, Capitol Fools is the next generation of the Capitol Steps. There are some of the same members. They kind of took the mantle when some of the people that have been around a long time decided to retire. So this is the
That's good.
continuation of that. And they pride themselves on their bipartisan spoofery that nobody is off limits for making fun of. And probably by October, we're gonna need that. We're gonna need to laugh at all of the ridiculousness of the
Yeah,
election because it might get a little contentious. Who's to say?
that's right.
But yes, they do songs and skits and parodies, and they, as they say, they put the mock in democracy.
Right on. Now we have a couple for the kids coming up over the holiday time. November 12th, it's Disney's Little Mermaid, and then a Charlie Brown Christmas. I think I've got there it is. A Charlie Brown Christmas. And that's one show only on December 2nd. What's that about?
Yes, we have a big holiday season this year, but it all kicks off with this December 2nd, a Charlie Brown Christmas live on stage. And who doesn't love a Charlie Brown Christmas? It is, of course, all the songs and the full story. And I have a feeling this one is going to go fast because everybody loves Charlie Brown Christmas. And as you were saying right before that, Disney's The Little Mermaid. This one is 8 performances. It is a huge new Broadway production that we're really excited to bring to the Lead Center. You know, we had Aladdin last season.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so this season, our big spectacular Disney is The Little Mermaid.
That is great. And, Charlie, speaking of Charlie Brown, you can't see that on regular TV anymore. You have to have a streaming service. You got to pay for
Right.
it. So this would be a good way to.
But it's a tradition. You have
But
to see it.
yeah, if you got to see it, might well see it live at the Lead Center. So that is good. Also, January 18th of 2025. Let's get into some of the ones that we may have not heard of yet. Coming up in the
Mhm.
beginning of the new year next year, Rent in concert. This is Rent, but kind of different, isn't it?
Yes. So it's been exactly one other place in the United States, this brand new symphonic concert. It was at the Kennedy Center. And it will be here coming to the Lead Center. The full Lincoln Symphony Orchestra will be joining spectacular soloists. So the cast in DC was like all Tony Award winners, just best of the best vocalists. They're all being invited to Lincoln. We can't confirm the full cast yet, but it's going to be absolutely the best of the best, performing the entire score of Rent with the full band and the full symphony. Again, I was talking to some people yesterday that got to see it in DC and said it was just unbelievable. Like if you
That's
love that
cool.
music, you need to
Yeah.
see it like this.
Now, have we talked? And I'm looking down.
Mhm.
Beetlejuice is coming. That's another
Beetlejuice,
one.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, there I did find my sheet here. March 4th through the 9th, 8 performances of Beetlejuice the musical. This is another one. My wife, she Beetlejuice is her favorite movie. Of course, Beetlejuice
Mhm.
2, Beetlejuice is coming out this year. So it's going to be a big Beetlejuice year for us here in Lincoln with Beetlejuice coming to the Lead Center, the musical. Tell us a little bit
Yes, it is
about.
a full Broadway musical, and
Yeah.
people just went crazy for it in New York. It is, and rest assured, like it's off color. It is a little, it's kind of a 14, 16 plus because Beetlejuice is a demon who's lived in hell for a long time, and you
Right,
just don't
yeah.
know what's going to come out of his mouth. So it's really again faithful to the movie with amazing new music. And if you did love the movie, you should absolutely see Beetlejuice live on stage.
Right on. And of course, in March of next year, 21st and the 22nd, it's 3 performances of, well, a lot of people's favorite, Annie. She's
Yeah,
back.
and now for something completely different. Not at all
Yeah.
like Beetlejuice. I mean, but there's a reason Annie has been around for as long as it has been around, and so many people do call it their favorite musical. It is one of the most successful shows of all time. It's been running in some form forever, for decades now, and of course, I mean, it's so optimistic, and I think that's why it persists. And of course you've got, the sun will come out tomorrow,
Oh,
and you're always
yes.
better dressed without or never fully dressed without a smile, and so many of those classic songs that just make people feel good. And sometimes a musical starring adorable children who just sing their faces off about how things are going to be okay is exactly what people need. And it's one of those shows that people then want to bring their kids to, and people bring their grandkids to. And it was something they loved as a child that they can share with the people in their lives.
All right. And just a couple of more here. One that we know of for sure. This based on that beloved 1988 movie, Mystic Pizza, June 14th through the
Yes.
15th of 2025 for 3 big performances. So this is something new and different too for the Lead Center.
Yes, this is something we had not announced yet. This was not announced as part of our full Broadway series, and it is based on the Julia Roberts rom-com, and this is a pre-Broadway tour. So this is slated to
Oh,
go to
cool.
Broadway, but we
Oh,
get it
wow.
first.
That's
Yes,
sweet.
we get it
Yeah.
first. And it's all, I was just making sure I had the right 80s and 90s songs, because that's the score of this musical is all 80s and 90s songs. So girls just want to have fun. Nothing's going to stop us now. And, Melissa Etheridge, Cyndi Lauper, John Cougar, Mellencamp, Debbie Gibson, Wilson Phillips, the Bangles, all of those late 80s, early 90s. That is what they use to create the music for this
That's
show.
great.
So
Well, that's
yeah,
going to be a fun
we've got
night.
lots of, we're kind of 90s tastic this year.
Yeah, and then there's, of course, there's, and I'm looking here, trying to find where if there's an actual date, but I'll have to have you back on Midsummer here. There's another huge Broadway musical coming that you guys just can't announce yet for some odd
Closer and
reason.
closer. I
Yeah.
promise it's coming soon.
Okay.
It is coming soon. But yes, the fifth Broadway show that is in our Broadway package, but you will now be able to get tickets to with Create Your Own Season. It's 2 full weeks in February, kind of over that Valentine's Day.
Okay.
Um, and we can't yet tell you what it is. But what we keep saying, here's what I can say, is that there have only been 3 shows in Lead Center history that have run for 2 full weeks of performances. Phantom of the Opera, then Hamilton, and
Right.
now this one.
So
So,
it
and it's,
sounds like it's going to be pretty big.
yes, it is one of the biggest shows currently running on Broadway, and
Well, that's great.
those are all the hints I am allowed
Currently,
to give you.
okay. I'm going to do a little research, and I will. When's that? July sometime, maybe. You're gonna
Midsummer.
Okay,
Midsummer.
well, you just give
Yeah.
me a call and we'll get you scheduled in here and we'll make the announcement to the Eagle listeners. And we're about out of time here. So, hey, Lauren, that was great. Sounds like an awesome season, 35 plus performances that people can see, and they can get season tickets, packages, customize their packages, all at leadcenter.org.
Yep. It
Correct?
all goes on sale May 14th at
May
11
14th.
a.m. is when you can start
Okay.
building those Create Your Own Season packages.
Yeah, that'll be next week. All right, Lauren, have a great weekend and great rest of the week. And we'll talk to you this summer for that big announcement.
Yes, thanks, you too. We'll talk
All right.
soon.
All right. Take care.